Hey, everybody. This is Marcus Ma'at Atkins, the writer and director of the Definition Association. I will be producing at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Please watch this video to check out what I had to say about my play as well as my career. When did I fall in love with theater? I would say when I was in grade school. Um, I can't recall what grade, but I do remember I was forced to be in a assembly. You know, the assemblies that you have in school. It was like this nursery rhyme kind of ordeal. It was called ravioli. You know, ravioli, we love ravioli, ravioli. And then I think my part was like, oh, it got on my face and made me lose my taste. And the audience just mad, just crazy laughing. And I was going like, oh, okay, this is interesting. That was the first time that's ever happened. You know, I would say I probably maybe in the third grade. And ever since then, I felt as though this is something that's comforting for me. You know, I was one of those brainiac kids who was more on books than sports and things like that. And the arts, I believe that day pretty much told me that I need to pursue this. I don't know how I was going to do that, but that transpired to other things like, you know, writing poetry and singing and, you know, just various things to create, you know, because in the environment that I was part of, I was, you know, working class African American family, with the emphasis was more on African American boys getting more into sports than anything. But you know, I was very anti that. So yeah, so I would say that inspired me to become the writer that I am today. I would say my very first play was when I was in college, and my attempt my attempt to write a play and have it staged. I had a lot of attempts, but never on stage. I mean, I had like the table reads and everything like that. And matter of fact, the play that I'm doing now, the title of it, the Definition Association, that was a name that I had of a play that I had written in college. And it was more like a Black version of The Breakfast Club. And something just told me, you know, I really like that title, The Definition Association. So I guess it would say it's kind of in hindsight that because of those failed attempts in college of trying to do the whole gestation of pre-production, production, post-production, with that being, you know, feedback and applause like I did that I got when I was in grade school, it kind of triggered, you know, that aspect of me wanting to not necessarily do this as a hobby, but when I started making money, I would say was when I was the literary director of an arts gallery in St. Louis called the Hatshepsut Studio Gallery. It used to be located on the 12th and Washington here in St. Louis, Missouri. That's like one of our the hot spots in the St. Louis area where I'm currently residing. So that's when I actually started to actually get ticket sales of my work. So I felt like I became a professional then when I actually had butts and seats and they actually spent their hard-earned money to see something that I produced. I believe the theater experience is unique for the actors and the audiences because it's kind of like an ephemeral moment in time. It's more of unexpectancy on both ends, suspending the disbelief, more on the one side of the audience to the actor, disbelieving in that they're actually seeing a play, but they're actually seeing something in reality, as opposed to with the actor or the female or male actor to the audience, just putting myself in that predicament, because I've, been in some of my own productions myself, and just being a performer on a stage. I believe it gives a sense of time, no sense of time, no sense of the world standing still for a few moments and escaping from your reality and creating your own way based upon the writer's words, and interpreting it in a particular way to create a picture of whatever reality that the director or writer to the actor, actress to the audience. So there's a lot of dimensions there, but I think the main key to all of this is suspending the disbelief on both ends of the actor and the theater goer, suspending the disbelief of what they're seeing, and the actor suspending themselves away from who they are and being creating their own another persona for people to believe. The writing process could be an idea, it can be a title, it could be something I saw on television, it could be something that someone told me in passing, something that I saw on the street. It just varies. I think if I'm inspired by something or someone, and I can create a beginning, middle, and end with no problems, because I don't know if I'm able to curse on here, but James Baldwin, the famous writer, novelist, he had a quote and said, writing is like shitting out bricks. So that analogy, if I don't have to shit too many bricks, then I think I'm successful in creating a piece from beginning, middle, and end, because I've always been taught that when you create something is never finished. It's just abandoned. It's abandoned to the point where it's palatable for audiences and critics who want to see something to write about or to feel. Well, I heard about the Hollywood Fringe Festival by just probably some of it was my Google search of trying to do theater in Los Angeles, because my first production, Snap Honey, actually, I introduced to the Los Angeles stage in 2016, as well as 2017. 2016, I performed it at the Complex. In 2017, I performed it at Studio Stage in Koreatown. And then it might have been between 2017 and 2018 that somewhere in the passing, something or someone told me about the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Early 2018, I decided to take a chance. Like I said, I had 2 years of experience in Los Angeles doing plays, but not as assembly line as Fringe Festival, that I found out and learned when I got there, that it was very strenuous, very by the numbers, very technical as far as striking, setting up in 30 minutes, do your show, don't go over your time, strike. And that was basically, that taught me discipline. It taught me about time, how important time is. And I enjoyed the experience to the point where I wanted to use that model for productions that I had done after 2018, because I also did the same play, Snap Honey, in Atlanta in 2019 at a studio, Good Acting Studio, GOOD, actually in Marietta, Georgia. And then the pandemic hit, because I wanted to do a play based upon the love relationship between Basquiat and Madonna in 2020, called Three-Way Love. Well, because of the pandemic and everything was new as far as this coronavirus was concerned, so I decided to tackle the Zoom play, which was totally unheard. I may have heard of Zoom in passing, but something just said, I wonder if I could do a Zoom play through Zoom. I did it. I debuted it at Hollywood Fringe's Fringe at Home, because they were kind of like in not dismantling, but more of kind of in a panic as far as like, should they do a Hollywood Fringe during the pandemic? Should they cancel it? So they ended up just doing virtual Fringe at Home, and I debuted it there. Critics saw it. One particular critics nominated us for Play of the Year. We didn't win, but it was a feat, because that was a challenge of trying to do that. And like I said, the experience that I had with Hollywood Fringe in 2018, gave me that discipline. So this year I said, all right, I think it's time for me to get back into the Fringe community, physically be there, and just continue my presence with the community. Even though I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, I'm more of a transit, in transit person, a transplant rather. The Hollywood Fringe community has opened their arms to me, as though that I'm actually a resident, like a artist in residence in a way, but through virtual communications. I just felt it was time for me to reintroduce myself with the Hollywood Fringe since 2018, doing it physically on a stage, and reintroducing myself to people who don't know who I am, and to those who know who I am and followed my career since 2018 with the Hollywood Fringe Festival. With Theater Asylum, I worked with them in 2018 because I needed rehearsal space. Thymele Arts is like a multi-purpose building where they have, is used for other things besides theater, but they do have the rooms are used for theater. But the manager there, Matthew Quinn, I met in passing in 2018, so he already knew who I was. So it was just natural for me to work with Matthew again, because he knew who I was. He knew of my my talents, because he used me in various Zoom panels, being like an expert in various topics. So it was just a synergy that I felt just made sense for me to work with the Thymele Arts, because of the history that I had with him, Matthew, as well as the Thymele Arts community. I had the title of the reason why I wanted to reason why I had written Definite Association is because of the title that I had. I had a whole different play with that title in college, and I just used that title because I'm a fan of Nollywood films. They're like Hollywood films, but they are produced in Nigeria. They have a certain whimsical effect. They have a certain whimsicalness about the way they film and things. And there was a movie I saw on Netflix on Hollywood. It was called The Visit. And it looked more like a play than anything, because there wasn't a lot of cut to scenes and all of that. It was more in one room for the most part. And these four characters, dealing with their conflicts, as most stories go, reveals, solutions, involving the visit between, these neighbors. So when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is very interesting. So that inspired me to create my own definition association of characters, using that element that I saw, as far as introduction of the characters, the discovery of the characters, the redemption of the characters, the unsolved epilogue of the characters. So, and plus, this was the first play that I actually had written since Snap Honey, which was in 2011. So it was like 2011, about 10 years since I actually had written an actual full-fledged stage play. So I had written it in the rough draft and say like a weekend. I believe it was September of last year. Went on Casting Networks to get a cast to do a table read, and 9 months later, I introduced it to the Orlando Fringe Festival early on this year, and then of course for the Hollywood Fringe Festival. So yeah, I think I needed to do it, to push myself to create something, because I got kind of bored doing the same play over and over, and I wasn't getting, because I'm a writer at heart. The rest of it just fell in my lap of being a writer, and being a director, and the technical aspects of theater. But for me, it's all about the pad and the pen and an idea. So yeah, that was the reason why I needed to write this play, because of those reasons. The tagline is, what do you get when a cell phone meets a security alarm system? Secrets are revealed. That's the tagline. But the main story is, you have a sophisticated couple living their life, and you have a street couple next door. They never met until that circumstance happened between those two devices, which caused their meeting. And because of that, they find out they have some commonalities amongst their differences of socioeconomic status, whatever, you name it. And they find out that the secrets that they had amongst themselves as couples and to each other, when they found out they had some common bonds, they realize in the end that you could be so close to someone, but still don't know who they are. Okay. That's kind of like the moral of the story. And the title is more of, we define ourselves based upon our outer appearance, how much money we make, who we have relationships with, the material things. And we try to associate ourselves with people who have those same definitions. But of course, the opposite occurs with definite association. They even though they may have commonalities, They have a whole lot of differences based upon the secrets they reveal amongst each other. The actors in my play are more Los Angeles based. One in particular is Wes Hubbard, who's actually a member of my team, my staff, Maatology Productions. He's come to my play since 2017 by just being a fan, and then I used him in one of my plays when I Snap Hunting in 2019, and now he's a staffer because he was also in Three-Way Love, and now so yeah, I would say Wes Hubbard is pretty well known in the Los Angeles community. He's also a 30-year veteran of acting and modeling. So, and the rest are, just actors who responded to casting network bulletins, who are hardworking performers, male and female, some has been working with me since June when I debuted the play for the Orlando Fringe Festival, and some will be returning to do the production during the Hollywood Fringe Festival. What do I want the audience to come after they get up out of their seats or when they watch on Livestream? Do they have secrets that they're hiding from themselves to their loved ones? Will this help them as far as maybe helping their own selves out? And maybe they'll see themselves in the characters, because regardless of the color of the skin or sexual orientation or how tall or short the performers are, we can see ourselves in whatever we see, or we know someone who's there that we see. So yeah, I would say for the most part, I want the audience to try to figure out, have they really been truthful of themselves as far as who they really are, as far as their definition of who they are, and really soul search, trying to find those answers. I think people should go see it because I'm not trying to brag, but I think I have, based upon the reviews that I've had so far, I believe we have a sleeper hit on our hands. We participated in Fringer's Cabaret, where there were trailers of different shows for the previews, and I got good remarks on people who really want to see this. So I feel I have a product that will withstand within the Fringe community. Yeah, I just feel like I have something that can stand the test of time beyond Hollywood Fringe Festival. I feel like that is bankable. That is, that could be, it can be taken to the next level. So yeah. So I think I have a pretty good show for people to check out during the Hollywood Fringe Festival. I hope to see people in seats or watching. That's my main thing. That's my hope, of getting as many people to see it. So, and of course, getting it, that's a kind of a phobia of, I would say, of most playwrights or directors. They really want the audience to get what they've been rehearsing for months and months. And of course, prior to that, the writer writing it, hopefully people will understand what they've seen from all of the blood, sweat, and tears of getting it on stage. I think the SoCal community should participate in the Hollywood Fringe Festival because, it's one of a kind as far as the Fringe Festival itself. For those who are into theater, live theater, I know SoCal is more about television and film and, Disneyland, but those who are diehard theater lovers, of small theater, experimental theater. I believe they should take the time either to, I know because we're in the pandemic and the mandate and all, but this year they're really stressing the live stream portions of the Fringe Festival. So people can, have a sense of comfort of, the situation that we're in today with the pandemic and not having to leave their homes and still enjoy what the Hollywood Fringe Festival has to offer. I think the Hollywood Fringe Festival is important to the community because it's for those who, again, who are into theater, who are not all about movie stars and celebrity. It's for the writer, it's for the producer. It's a small theater producer's oyster to create. It's not like off Broadway, where it's more not necessarily prestige, but it's more the New York scene is very theater, and they expect their theater to be a particular way. Whereas Hollywood Fringe, again, is Hollywood. People just want to be entertained. But to me, if you have a great story, if a writer has a great story and a producer is there to help produce it, you can't go wrong with that. And I think the community who's willing to be a part of that, I think will benefit from that. I believe local theater is very important in just communities across the world because that's where it starts. It starts with small theater, community theater, where you experiment, you try again, you try even more, you workshop it, it moves on to, the festivals, it moves on to bigger stages, and it moves on to eventually, the creme de la creme is a Broadway. All Broadway shows didn't start off on Broadway. They started off with workshops, small theater, just anywhere to perform it. And that's the bottom line. It has to start somewhere. So it starts in local theater. It starts with those unknown actors who will more than likely will end up becoming today's movie stars or today's theater stars. So every tale has an end and every end has a tale. We're in the Thymele Arts building, shows on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's kind of a limited run because, we want to test it out to see how it goes live stream. And if it goes pretty well, we may extend it till the very end of the festival, which I believe is the 29th. Like I said, I've done theater for close to 20 years. To me, yes, I want to make money, but to me, it's more of the love of it. Would I want to do this as a career and not having to deal with a 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 or wherever? Most definitely. But it's all about the love of it. And like I said, I hope people will come check us out. I think we have, a great story, a universal story. And hopefully people will, decide to check us out and tell people who we are. Hey, everybody, this is Marcus Ma'at Atkins. I am the director and writer of the Definition Association, which will be staged at this year's Hollywood Fringe Festival. We will be on stage through the 15th. If you want to check us out, please feel free to check me out on Facebook, Marcus Ma'at Atkins. You can email me at snaphoney2011@gmail.com. I will answer any questions that you may have as far as how to get tickets and more information about Maatology Productions. Come check us out. We'll be waiting for you.